To esteemed delegates, colleagues from both the national government and also the county government's officials who are here, representatives from the civil society, or what we famously call the NGOs, representatives from the faith-based organizations, community representatives, esteemed members, our elders, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning once again. I know we are running behind schedule, and today is a very important day for me as the PS responsible for internal security and national administration. That we are at a point where we are discussing or validating two important documents. And I must appreciate the input and of course the interest that these documents have generated over time. Yesterday I was having a session with the Coast Parliamentary Group caucus, and as we were discussing many other things that are related to security and what the government is doing, they were asking me, Historia Village Elders, is it something you're just doing to buy time, or you are serious about it? Because they appreciate how important our village elders are in the entire ecosystem in terms of the security infrastructure, but also in the development of our country. And one of them was like, if something has gone wrong, it will not miss the eye of the village elder. Actually, they were saying that by the time the police is called, a lot of things have gone, or have either gone wrong or have been mitigated. And therefore, it's an important conversation that we are having today, and I really want to thank the team that has been spearheading this process. When I look at my friend Wakili from the PCS's office, I'm having no doubt in my mind that we will benefit immensely from his experience as an advocate, and also as someone who has been in this country for quite a while and has been involved in a lot of initiatives to make this country better. When I look at the reach of the elders who are here on behalf of all the tens and thousands of elders across the country, I know we are in a good space. When you think about even the administrative units, and everywhere the president goes, and everywhere all of us as leaders we go to, there's always the invitation for a new administrative unit here and there, primarily to address challenges around security, but also most importantly for access to services by the public. And we have done this over the years just from what we think is right. But for the first time, we want to entrench that process so that there is clarity on how and when to do it. And therefore, I'm privileged to be here at this validation forum for two critical instruments. One is the draft National Government Village Administration Policy and the draft National Government Coordination, focusing on the administrative units regulations 2025. Over the last 2 years, we have seen law enforcement and local administration undergo a remarkable evolution. As a PS in this Ministry of Interior and National Administration, I find myself being at the forefront and of course witnessing firsthand the transformative reforms that we are collectively embarking on, upon which our security sector and administration of the grassroots is entrenched. The introduction of the new administrative units, the professionalization of the national government administrative officers, and the modernization of the police service are all contributing to a safer and more secure country. Regardless of which location it is, we feel the hand and presence of government in our daily lives through responsive services, swift law enforcement, and inclusive development. I can comfortably state that if there was anything that I would be very proud of, is that I'm at the heart of leading this transformation, and in the process of making the realization of these two critical documents actually real. I feel a lot of pride knowing that when the administrators and the village elders are assured that their welfare is secured, then they will be able to devote themselves wholeheartedly to protecting our children, women, and of course, a number of us who are vulnerable from exploitation and abuse, and also upholding the rule of law in every corner of the country. Our village administrative structures will be aligned with our national security framework so that we are able to better detect, prevent, and respond to emerging threats. We have mechanisms that we must be able to strengthen as part of these draft policies that we are validating today. Mechanisms on dispute resolution, fair communal resource management, as well as local development planning by embedding our communities at the heart of these two important policies. On behalf of the State Department for Internal Security and National Administration, we are humbled by the overwhelming feedback and support that we have received, the diversity of the views that we have received as a result of the public participation exercise that we've been able to undertake in various fora. I would want to, in particular, commend the civil society organizations for the advocacy that has kept the voices of the vulnerable and marginalized communities at the forefront in the drafting of these two important instruments. I also want to appreciate the private sector players whose technical expertise and resources have enriched this process. I know we have worked closely with reInvent on a number of other interventions, and these particular two processes have been no exception in terms of that support and continued partnership that we continue to receive, also from our development partners. In terms of the financial resources that they've been able to put at our disposal, as well as technical support. Now, most importantly are the citizens of this great republic, whose engagement, passion, and constructive criticism continue to drive us to be better stewards of public trust. Ladies and gentlemen, your contributions drawn from town halls, online portals, and workshops have enriched these drafts, ensuring that they reflect the aspirations of our communities at the grassroots. We are glad that as we sit here today, we will be conducting this validation exercise, which is not merely a formality, but rather a collective opportunity to be able to improve on the documents, and we build consensus around them. I want to encourage us that let's thoroughly scrutinize these two documents, and where necessary, we propose amendments or adjustments so that we ensure that they are aligned technically, legally, so that they reflect the wishes of the people of this country. From your insights, our technical teams will be able to prepare the final draft for submissions for approval. And for us to be able to succeed in getting the approvals, we will still need to have very robust conversations and engagements with our legislators, both at the National Assembly and at the Senate. And we must continue to also engage our colleagues across various ministries and agencies, particularly the National Treasury, because there are resources that are required. Our colleagues at the State Law Office, we still need to ensure that what regulations we are passing through or that we are seeking approval for are not in conflict with anything that is existing or anything that is proposed across the entirety and the spectrum of government. And to all of us, I think we need to have the comfort that we are doing the right thing. And when our time is gone, we can be able to look back and say that we did something that has pushed the country forward, as we all are expected to do. And it's not about us. When you think about the policy on village elders, we know how much sacrifice they make to support the national government administration structure. Because without the village elders, the assistant chiefs are completely blind to what is going on in the sub-location. That police officer, that OCS, is completely blind to what is happening and even knowing how to intervene. In the case of our cities like in Nairobi, where the assistant chiefs and the chiefs are moved across, and also the dynamic nature of how our cities and towns are, if we don't have a fully functional structure of village elders, of course what would easily call the Nyumba Kumi, then we'll have a crisis of monumental proportions. I was just thinking to myself yesterday when His Excellency the President was handing over keys to more than 1,000 Nairobians. And that development in Mukuru eventually will be hosting more than 40,000 Kenyans. And then you start to think of the work of the chief in that area, the work of the OCS in that area. So as we validate these documents, we must be able to appreciate the uniqueness of this country. Because what would work for us in Eastlands, in Mukuru, will not be what will be working for us in Karen, or in Lavington, or in Muthaiga. It is not what will work for us in a village in Tana River. So what we are doing must be something that is fit for purpose, that is applicable to every corner of this country, appreciating the diversity and the uniqueness and also the structure in which our communities live. So I'm looking forward to seeing the final product of this validation exercise for purposes of carrying it forward. And I'm happy that it's happening at a time when we are having discussions around the budget for the next financial year. So we still have an opportunity to onboard part of what we will come up with as a final document because of issues to do with resource distribution and allocation. So finally, I would want to thank you, and I look forward to robust discussions and your invaluable input as we undertake the validation exercise for these two important draft documents. Thank you, and God bless you.